Hey guys, I figured I was gonna do one more of these things this week, just because I was riding my bike, right? Bike trainer, yay, my old felt. And yeah, I did one of these yesterday, so I figured why not do one more today to make up for the weeks I missed. One thing I've been thinking about a lot, because I'm older, I I do get a pension. I got money in the bank, so I'm fine. But running's become expensive. Just saying. Um, it used to be the least expensive sport. I still think it is, but it's become ridiculous. Um, Yeah, it's at one time. I mean, triathlon, right? I used to do triathlons, and bike was the most expensive. Still is. Um, I I'm resisting getting a bike with electric electronic shifting and disc brakes 'cause I don't need them. I'm not doing triathlons anymore, and even if I did, this thing's good enough. I bought it in 2010, and it stuck with me, and it's been perfect. So it's fine. But you cut corners where you have to. If you have to race on an older bike, what does it matter? You're not the next Mark Allen. You're not going to win. If you are going to win, yes, you got the money to spend on that training, coaches, and whatever. But you cut corners, I guess. It's interesting. I bought that thing in 2010. I bought these shoes the same time. Shoes are expensive for biking. These things. These are Adidas. Adidas. Yeah, actually the Velcro, which is even weirder because most have the different type of locking system. But again, they're fine for me. I don't need anything else. Swimming is expensive just because gear can be expensive. I've heard there's actually carbon fiber swimming suits now. Those are expensive. And if you're a regular swimmer, I've talked to one lady whose daughter is a competitive swimmer, and that's a lot of money every other month. And coaches and pools. Pools aren't free unless you can find a lake to swim in, and it's January in Edmonton, so good luck with that. Vancouver, even. Vancouver, you're looking at, there's a fight over, I think, the aquatic center now, but I guess they're going to shut her down and renovate. Where else do you swim? There's a few other indoor pools, but not as many, actually not as many as we have in Edmonton. Running has gotten expensive. Shoes, my God. You used to be able to get a pair of shoes for like $100. Even when I started working at the running room in 2014, $120 was expensive. Now you're looking at 200 plus. Right? It's expensive. So how do you save money, right? I remember promising my wife when I retired that my work at the running room was going to pay for races, for gear, whatever. There's no way that's going to pay for a new bike. And I don't do a lot of races, so that I'm also I'm going to say this is a way to save money. Get a job, part-time job at a store that sells the gear that you want. Doesn't have to be the running room, could be another business as well. I imagine Tech Shop does the same thing, and places like Couch and Sports on Vancouver Island probably does the same thing too. I get it. Even now, I used to, let's see, I started out as a salesperson in 2014 and became a manager, which didn't really pay that much, but it helped. Then I went back to sales. Then I was teaching clinics. Now I'm a race director, and I'm also working events for the running, so I still get that percentage off. New shoes I get, I think, at 10%. Anything that has the word running room on it, I get like half price. So it saves money. So think about that. If you live in a city that has a running room and they have events there, like Toronto, Vancouver, Victoria, Nanaimo, wherever, get on their team. Commit to doing like 10 events a year. You can pick which ones you want, pick which weekends you want. There's some weekday stuff, some evening stuff. You can pick what you want, but you get that discount, right? So that saves money. But watch for sales. Watch for stuff online. No, don't buy running shoes online. I've always seen people putting up the shoes they bought that don't really work for them. Are they going to work for you? Well, if there's a shoe that you like and have used before, maybe. But how old is that shoe and what kind of shape is that shoe in? I wouldn't buy used shoes. We used to carry used shoes at our store for collect shoes for the homeless and stuff, right? And every so often somebody would say, well, can we buy them? No. So yeah, save money where you can because it's an expensive sport. Entering race is expensive now, $100, right? The Lululemon Seaweeds race in Vancouver in August is $325 for just the entry. That's not including flight. That's not including where you're going to stay. I guess you sleep on the beach. And yeah, I realize Seaweeds has a lot more stuff than a lot of other runs have, but still, that's almost triathlon entry fee. Ironman used to be like $800. Imagine it's more closer to $1,000 now. So everything's expensive. So pick your spots, save your money, find ways to save money. We don't teach clinics anymore, but when I taught clinics, I used to get into a lot of running room events for free. So there's might be options for that with other businesses, right? So do that, and yeah, and pick your spots. I've sort of got famous for bailing on races, which got expensive. This year I've been really good. Well, I'm only bailing on two. New Year's Day, New Year's run, which wasn't on New Year's Day. I bailed on that because, well, you know, life. And I was going to do the half in Vancouver. I'm registered for it, so that's money not well spent. I figured I'm going to do the 10K, the Sun Run in April. It's less expensive. Hotels are less expensive that time of year, so I'm saving money that way. So bonus. But yeah, find a way to save money. I'm going to make that my commitment this year, is to just not spend as much as possible. Yes, there's a lot of stuff I can only get online that Running Room does not carry. But again, there's last year's stuff, right? Lululemon even has, we made too much, right? So there's options there. Pick your races, pick your shoes. Like, shoes are expensive. These things, I forget how much these things were from Ons. But pick your brand, watch for sales. Ons, once they get a new model out, the old model really drops in price. I remember talking to a guy who used to live in Thailand, and he said, we always get this impression that shoes are a lot less expensive than they are here. He said, for the new shoes, they're the same price. The only difference is when a new shoe pops out, the old shoes go down. So that myth about shoes being less expensive in Asia, not true. I don't know. I'm not sure if tariffs are going to cause us any problems with the cost of shoes. It shouldn't. But unless Canada puts tariffs on shoes coming from other countries, I guess maybe. Hopefully they don't do that, because our Prime Minister's a runner. He understands this stuff. So yeah, save your money, pick your spots, watch for sales. I've never actually gone into a Value Village to see what they have. I'm really leery about buying running stuff bought at Value Village. But I guess go, take your time, find what you want. If you find it in good shape, why not? There's a way to save money. Other things too, like I use for biking, where did I put it? I only rely on this. I rely on this, and I watch a lot of videos on YouTube. I did have a subscription with Zwift. Expensive. I mean, you can get that for running and for biking on treadmill and bike trainer. I tried it for a year. I didn't really like it. I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. But also, I refused to buy a new bike trainer. I love my bike trainer. It's a Ceres, that's the name, but it doesn't have that link to Zwift. And then you have to get new computers and stuff, and it's just, I just said no. I got a lot of DVDs, remember those, for training. There's stuff online. There's all kinds of stuff online. What I do is I just pick a show and just speed up the certain parts of the show. Of commercials, I do stand up and pedal and stuff. It's like that. And I guess you can do that with treadmills too. But yeah, and gyms are expensive too. Do you need a gym membership? I have one. I've got a great one here in St. Albert. I got the seniors discount now. That's another great discount. If you check where you work, they may have a corporate deal some places. Running Room, we used to have with the city of Edmonton, so I got a discount at Kinsman. I still do. If I want to use that, I might use that because they have a pool my gym here does not have. But again, I had to make a balance, right? I was deciding which was better. Sturgeon Valley Athletic Club is an amazing gym. I love it. It's small. The locker room's a little bit tiny, but still, it's fine. Showers are fine, and I pick my times when it's not that busy. But even Sunday mornings isn't bad. And there's always, thing I like about smaller gyms, there's always something you can do. If you come in to do, say, bench press, and all the benches are busy, you can still do dumbbell presses. If you want to do rows, well, if the rowing machines are like the seated rows or the lat pull downs are busy, bent over rows with weights, deadlifts, squats on the Smith machine. There's always options. And I remember there used to be a gym in Kihei in Maui. It was like that. I went from a huge gym in Vancouver to that. And I walked in, they didn't even have showers, which is really amazing, and no change room. But there's a shower across the street by the beach. That was fine. But so you worked out, went for a swim, and then washed the salt off. But yeah, it's like a 5-minute drive for me most of the time, maybe 7 minutes. Kinsman is a 15K drive. Usually figure about 30 minutes at best. Is it worth it to save? It was a little less expensive. No, about the same price. The only difference is Kinsman has 2 indoor tracks, 2 big pools, a hot tub, a diving pool, which is separate. A lot of times it's busy though on weekends with events. You have to pick your spots. Now I think it's gonna be less busy because one of our old pools that was closed for a long time just reopened. So that should take the pressure off there, but still it's a 15K drive. That's gas price, right? And that's time I'd rather be training. So I do my running and I do my training here in St. Albert. And the 2 or 3 times I swim a year, I will drive to either the Hemingway pool, which is really not that far away, and Kinsman, because I like the River Valley. But I gotta watch that money. And really, do you have to go into a gym to work out on weights? Not really. There's a ton of stuff you can do at home in your living room. There's lots of videos that will train you to that. There's a lot of videos I love that I go through. I don't have my book here, but I love different things I find on there. Rich Wall, usually his talks are worth just watching while you're training. Where's my, just give me a second. There. Somebody gave me this years ago. That's all. I get as much benefit from this thing and just doing exercises based on this. You know, squats, you don't need weights to do squats, but it helps, I guess, if you want to build big muscles. But for us as runners and bikers and swimmers, probably good enough. I can do that at home, and as long as my wife and kids let me do it and don't mind me blocking the TV while I do, fine, right? So it's do stuff at home, save your money. Watch your money. When I'm going to say, though, the other thing is figure out what your budget is. Don't buy cheap. Somebody told me this years ago. Spend the money. What you buy is going to last a lot longer if you buy cheap and it doesn't last as long. So instead of buying, say, a different jacket every year because they fall apart after a year, buy a jacket that's going to last you 10 years. My reflective running room jacket's probably got to be at least that, maybe even 14 years old. Still perfect, right? The zippers and the Velcro and everything works fine. So I spent more money, but it lasted longer. So think about that. The shoes, make sure they're the right shoes. I had one customer just before COVID and everything shut down. Everybody's worrying about their money because they're going to, be out of work. And I remember one lady, she came in and she needed stability shoes. The shoe I found for her, yes, it was regular price. There was one that was on sale, not quite as good. And she's humming and hawing which should she get. And I kept saying the more expensive one maybe last longer. And yes, you might be, need that money. But do you buy the less expensive one that's not going to last as long and not as good? She went and asked her husband. Of course, her husband said, less expensive. I don't know what happened after that, but spend the money that you need. Again, there's a reason why I buy Ons, because I love the product and it works for me. But if Nike works better, I said that word, Nike. But yeah, it's like skis. It's like cross-country skis. Cross-country skis, my cross-country skis have to be 10 years old, but I still need wax. I know there's no wax cross-country skis, but I cross-country ski maybe 5 times a winter. So why am I going to spend that kind of money, right? So yeah, watch what you spend your money on. Decide what you want, what you need, and save your money. That's going to be my goal. I may start using tips. If I see something online for sale, I'll bring it up. But anyhow, great time on my bike this morning. I love my bike. That made a difference. I also have Cannondale in my garage that also make sure you watch if you're buying a bike. Check out what it's got for material on it. This thing is going to last me forever. But I noticed with the Cannondale, the shifters weren't working. I took them into a bike shop to get fixed. They can't fix them. They have to replace the whole thing, which is about $400. So yeah, the bike's okay, probably 20 years old, but still. Remember, we used to be able to fix the cars with a screwdriver, right? Well, apparently not bikes anymore anyhow. Anyways, time for shower, maybe some yoga. Again, I can do that at home. And yeah, we'll talk to you for sure next week.